Good morning, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Xah Talk Show. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Xah Talk Show. Today is 2021, April 9th, and today I'm going to do a emacs lisp coding. Okay, so I'm gonna go quick. This is a Xah Talk Show live stream extempore. I just decided to do this. So nobody's here, 3 people, 2 people. So I'm just going to start to code, okay? So today's problem, let me show you what is the problem I'm going to code. So let's go to my Emacs blog so you can see what is the problem I'm trying to solve, okay? So you can see over here, let me show you some. Okay, so here is the article, Emacs undo redo saga. Okay, I wrote this 10 years ago and updated recently. I did a video talk a few days ago. So what I want to do is to write a Emacs command such that, let me show you. Okay, for example, here's a link. Okay, then let's go to that page. Emacs blog, go to the top section. So can you see my screen okay? And on the pink window is every command I call is shown on the pink window on the left. Okay, move cursor right, backward by char, backward by char, down, up, or by paragraph. So you can see all the commands I call in Emacs and the corresponding keys. I'm using Xah keys and I'm using Vorak keyboard. So those keys correspond to Vorak keys. But you can notice there's no control key because Xah keys is a modal mod. So let me talk about what is the problem. If you have comments, questions, I love it. Post it, okay? And donate, okay? Patreon me, donate. Okay, so what is the problem? The problem is, for example, this go to my Emacs blog section. So you can see over this page, it says this is a link, Emacs undo saga, and corresponding to this link in the browser, right? So the problem is sometimes I want to move a block of text that involves a link into another page. For example, if I move this, for example, okay, so if I copy that, okay, split the window, now go to my programming blog, show in browser, you can see this is my programming blog, and they are in a different directory. Okay, so let me show you again. So programming blog, Emacs blog, you can see they they are in different domains. So this is my local file system, but they are in different directory. So if I copy this Emacs undo redo section, and I want to copy it, and I want to move, sometimes I want to create a new section, paste it here. Now go back to the browser. Now look, if I refresh, it's gonna show up here. Okay, refresh. You see, it shows up there. But however, if I click it, it won't work because you moved a. So why does it not work? Because we moved a relative link from one directory location to another. So obviously the relative link no longer work. So what I want is actually, ultimately I want to be able to copy a block of text and paste it in some other HTML page and have Emacs automatically fix the all the relative links, all the local links. Okay, that is the what we want to do. Okay, let's write it out. Okay, so let's go so let's go to talk show page, open my Emacs bookmark. So here's today's talk show page, you can see, and let's write it down. Yeah, so well, it's already there. So you can see, here's what we want to do. Write a Emacs command to copy current text block, but change all local links to full path. Okay, so I separate the job into two steps so that it's easier for me to live code it and show you something useful you can learn. So one of the tasks is write the emacs command to copy current text block. However, when you copy it, the local links should become full path instead of relative link. Now the second problem is write the emacs command to change all local links that's full path to relative link. So in this way, if I have, for example, okay, let's go to my emacs block. In this way, if I copy, so in this way I can, let me show you what I want to do. So so this text block, I want it to become, let me show you, okay? I want it to become that, okay? So let me show you. So the first job that I'm going to do now, live code, is that given any region, I want to copy it, but for any local link like that, it should be changed to full path, okay? Relative path to full path. That's what I want to write. Okay, let's begin. Let's begin. Okay, so let's begin coding it. So let's go to my brief. This is my emacs, kind of my emacs init. Let's just create a file here and magnify, and let's say, okay, so save it as let's give a name, xah copy change relative link. So this actually xah-html copy relative link. Okay, that should be the command name. Okay, wait. Yeah, okay, so copy that, save it, paste it, .el. Okay, now close it, reopen, magnify, cut, define function, let's shrink back. D for define function, press enter. I'm using xah emacs lisp mod. Okay, xah copy change relative link. Okay, doc string. Let's write the doc string. So go back to talk show page. I'm going to try to code this fast. Good morning, Cherry Ramis. Hello, first time on stream. Cheers from Brazil. Hey. So wait, what are we doing? So this is the first task. Okay, and this is probably the only thing I'll be able to do today. I need to go in an hour, so 15 minutes, and we should be able to do this. So write a emacs command. So this command will copy current text block of HTML, but change all local links to full path. Okay, that's what we want. Version, I always give a version for my commands. Okay, let's begin to write it. So first task is, let's see, the first task is first of all, find the beginning selection point and end selection point. Okay, the beginning, I mean the beginning region and end region. So let's just say region. Okay, let's start from simple. Okay, so P1, P2, and let's not use the dollar sign. So because let's go with the traditional way. P1, P2, position 1, position 2, set Q P1, position 1, region beginning. Okay, good. Set Q P2, region end. Okay, so now prettify it. We got a region. P1 and P2 are the beginning and end of region. Okay, so that is, user select the region, and we can work on it. So the next step is oh my god, this is not going to be easy. Live coding is always always because I need to do it fast and in real time, and I need to explain while I code. So the next step is to find all the link location. Okay, you find, basically find all the occurrences of href. Let's write it down. Find occurrence of href. Grab the relative link if it is if it is relative link. Let's shrink a little bit. So if it is relative link, grab it and okay, just say change it to full path. Okay, then change it to full path. Repeat for all href values. Okay, so we are trying to find this such relative link. Repeat for all href values. Then we want to copy that to the emacs kill ring. Basically copy that. Yeah, then okay, let's forget, let's make it simple. Let's just say that. Okay, find occurrence of href, then if it's relative link, change it to full path. Repeat for all href values. Okay, let's begin. That's the algorithm. ith outline. Okay, so let's start coding. So first of all, narrow to region will make Emacs think that's the only content in a buffer. Ignore the rest of it. Okay, now whenever you do narrow to region, you need to also say save restriction. Okay, so here's our code. We're gonna start. So first of all, search forward for things like that. Yeah, so for well, search forward, let's say that. Okay, now I'm assuming I'm working on my own HTML code, because in other people's HTML code you might have a class here, and or you might have be like that. But let's make it simple. So all my HTML links have this kind of links have this form. So let's just search that. This is just command for me. So search forward that, then okay, we don't care. Option bound nil, no arrow, true. We don't care if it cannot find it. If it cannot find it, that means we are done. There's no local links. Okay, search forward that, then okay, once you search forward, Emacs will put the cursor like somewhere here. Okay, then you just grab this link. And how do you do that? You can do it by thing at point. Okay, thing bounds of thing at point. Okay, let me do this. Bounds of thing at point. Okay, so that is, so we want a file name. Wait, before we need to actually test if this is a local link or not. So in other words, if it's starting with HTTP, such as that one, we want to ignore for now. Okay, so how do you do that? We can test if the next few characters is HTTP. Okay, let me show you how you do it. Okay, now search for word, then if let's not worry about the a let's just assume for now all links are local links. Okay, let's assume. Okay, then we say bounds of thing of points. Okay, now we need to have another variable, bounds. Okay, let's just say link boundaries. Link begin end. Okay, the naming of things is one of the most difficult thing. Okay, set q link begin end. That's what this function is going to return. So this is going to be a file name, remove. Okay, then put it here. So link begin and end. Then let's add more variables. Okay, link position 1. Okay, p1. Okay, link position 2. Okay, then we say set q link p1 equals to car that. Okay, set q link p2 equals to cadre. Okay, cadre that. Okay, so what does that mean? So this bound of thing at point, basically when your cursor is on a file path, okay, then you can call this command bounds of thing at point. It will find the beginning position where the file path begins, and it will find the end position of the file path. Then it will return them as a const pair. So basically it will return something like this. Okay, let me write it. Const that's what it returns. So you can you can do describe function on this, and you can see here's the full documentation of this function bounds of thing at point. Okay, so let's see comments. Greetings, Bartholomew. This is emacs session. You are not interested. Morning, guys. Scream. Well, nothing here at least. Hey, good morning, Zitron Crazy. Zitron Crazy and Bartholomew, the pair. The cons pair. The cons pair in Germany. So okay, so let's continue the code. So now we have the positions beginning and end, and now we can extract the beginning position. Let's rename. Okay, let's just rename for the sake of so people can understand it. Instead of p1 p2, let's just say link begin link end. Yeah, so more people can understand what that is. Link begin position. Okay, and p2 is going to be link end position. Okay, so you can see the code. Now we start by find the region beginning and region end. Am I doing good? Let's see. So we start by find the regions beginning and end. That's these two lines. Okay, then we want to find the first occurrence of href. That's that. And then we want to find the beginning and end position of the link. Okay, that's these three lines. Okay, now we are good to go. Now let's see. Yeah, now let's do. So what's next? So once you have this relative link, you just want to turn it into a full path. How do you do that? There's a emacs command for that. file full path, no, file relative link, okay, file, okay, I don't remember. So when this happens, I just go to my emacs lisp tutorial, okay. So you just go online, go to Xah emacs tutorial, practical emacs lisp, and right now you want to find a function that takes a relative path and return a full path. So here, okay, file directory path, magnify. Okay, so functions on directory, file path functions, file name directory, file name non-directory, file name extension, file name sans extension, file relative name, and expand file name. That's the one. Okay, expand file name, convert file name to absolute. That's right. Expand file name. That's the function we want. So back to emacs lisp. It's 8 p.m. there. I was lucky to find Xah online. 8 p.m. 8 p.m. So where are you? Let's see. Let me digress a little bit. 426. You are in. Oh, 8 p.m. is just New York. New York time. Cherry Ramatus. Okay. Right? 8 p.m. is New York. Let's see. 4, 5, 6, 7. No. I don't know. Maybe probably New York. Because there's no, or maybe in Nova Scotia or Iceland. Probably not. Anyway, so back to the Lisp code. So what are we practical emacs Lisp, close that. Back to the emacs Lisp code. Talk show, close that. Oh yeah, so we are back to the emacs Lisp code. So we want, so now we want, let's see, let's do this. Okay, let's have a bigger window. Okay, so now expand file name. Okay, that's the one we want. And oh, before we do that, we don't have the file path yet. Yeah, we don't have the file path yet. Let me show you. Yeah, let me show you. Okay, now remember, okay, hold on a second. Okay, we don't need it this big. Remember, we want to grab the file path. Okay, that's easy. So how do you do? So because we have the beginning position, we have the end position. So what you do is buffer substring no properties. Okay, you see? Okay, that's right. And given two positions, and the position is going to be link begin position, right? And the link end position. Okay, so this thing will return the string that's the actual file path. Okay, so let's name it. Okay, set q current href value. Okay, then that's going to be that. Okay, now this is a new variable. We want to add it to our list of variables. Let's okay, prettify the code. Now let's go down. Now okay, let's prettify our code, and let's not to have too many lines. Yeah, indecision. Okay, so anyway, so now we have the current href value, which is this string. Okay, now the next thing to do is yeah, so we have current href value. Okay, copy that. We want to get the full path. Okay, so expand file name. That's good. So we want to expand this relative path. Okay, optional relative directory. We don't need it because by default it's relative to the current directory. So whatever this file is, it's relative to that directory. So that's good. So here is the full path. Okay, set full path equals to that. Okay, so cut it, put it here, make it pretty, and here's a new variable, local variable. We need to add it to the top there. Okay, so now we got the full path. What do we do next? Now we need to just replace the old relative path by the full path. Okay, so that's also easy. How do you do that? You do it by D for delete. Oh wait, DL. Wait. There's no. Okay, delete region. Okay, that's the command. Delete region. And you give two positions. So the position is going to be link beginning and link end position. Okay, copy that here. Okay, delete region. Then you just say insert full path. Okay, pretty fine. So right now our code, the whole thing is pretty much complete. Okay, it's pretty much complete. We first of all we find user gives first of all user gives a region like a text block. For example, however big a region. So we get the P1, P2 is the region beginning and region end. Then we narrow to region. Then we search for the first occurrence of href, the link. Then once we found it, we get the beginning position and end position of the file path. Then we grab it as a string. Then we change it to full path. Then we delete that region and insert the full path. So if we do it on this block of text, it should work. Now this only works for the first occurrence. We need to do a loop so that it changes every link. So anyway, but this seems great. Let's begin to let's evaluate this code. Let's see how we do. Okay, let me shrink. Let me get rid of the extra spaces. Okay, evaluate the code. Now the code is evaluated. Now let's go back to this. Copy, paste, and let's work on this block. Let's try it. Okay, so what is the command name? So let's try it. Select it, call meta x xah-html copy change relative link. Okay, do it. Oops, symbols value as variable is void p1. Okay, we got something. Okay, yeah, obviously because the whole let block of we mismatch the parent because the whole let block is this, but however our code is outside of it. So we need to move the code inside the local variables. Cut, paste, prettify. That's it. Okay, eval the buffer. Now we try again. Select it, meta x xah-html copy change relative link. Enter. Okay, wrong type argument integer or marker p nil. What the fuck? Wrong type of argument. Yeah, okay. Wrong type of argument integer or why is that? Let's turn on. Let's call the command let's call the command toggle emacs this this command toggle debug on error. Okay, now let's try it again. Because now if I do it again, when there's error, Emacs will pop up the full error detail. So do it. So there it is. Debugger entered lisp error. Then it says wrong type. Okay, magnify. Wrong type argument integer or marker. Okay, buffer substring no properties. Okay, that's why. So Emacs Lisp when it is calling this function buffer substring no properties, it's receiving two nil arguments. That is the problem. So here you can see this line is the problem. Why is it a problem? Let's try again. Let's see. Buffer substring no properties. Link begin position. Link end position. Did I spell it incorrectly? No, I did it correctly. Did I spell this incorrectly? No, it's spelled correctly. So link beginning position and link end position, they are nil, which is incorrect. They shouldn't be nil. So the problem is probably there. You see, when we call this function bounds of thing at point, we are wait, what? Okay, here's what we need to do. Okay, I kind of know. I know an error already, but I don't know if that is all there is to it. But anyway, you see, we started to search forward. Okay, let me show you this. Okay, let me go to the okay. So we started to search forward. But before we do that, we need to move the cursor to the beginning of the region. You see, so first of all, you need to say go to char region, go to char buffer minimum. Okay, point minimum. Okay, that means move the cursor to the beginning of the buffer. Okay, then we start to search. Okay. And actually we need to do a if statement, because what if there is nothing found? You see, if it tries to search it and if there is no local link like that, there's no href, then you don't find it, right? But however, then we assume we are assuming we found it because we are starting to grab the file name. So actually you need a if statement. So if, you see, if statement, if this, okay, put it here, if that, then do something, otherwise do nothing. In that case, we can just say when. Okay, so when this is true, when you call the search forward function, it will return a value that can be interpreted is either true or false. So when search is successful, then you do these things, otherwise do nothing. Okay, prettify it. Let's try again. So we fixed two errors. Okay, so we don't need that. Okay, so okay, so now evaluate the buffer. Now go back to this part. Okay, now select the region. Let's call it again, see what happens. Call it, do it. Fantastic success. You can see it has changed. You see, it was a relative link here, and now wait, can you see it? Let me scroll up. Okay, so it was a relative link there, but now it changed to a full path. That is what we want. Okay, that is what we want. We are success. So now I've been talking for 40 minutes. Basically, we can stop here. That is what we have obtained the goal today. Part of it, anyway. Which is teaching you. I hope so. I hope I did some basic emacs lisp practical tutorial. This is very practical because this is a function I need. Like I talked in the beginning of my video, I need to move a block of text of HTML from one HTML file to another, and I need to get the relative links fixed. So this is one of the steps. I change a block of text of all the relative links, change them to full path. Then I copy this or cut it. Then I go to some other HTML file. I paste it there. Then I need another command, which is kind of reverse of this. It will just go through the links and change all the full path to the relative link. So that is, I hope. Oh, okay. So there's a question. What's the difference between car and kader? Okay, that's about. Okay, so let me explain. Okay, let's go to talk show. Okay. Let me just write it. Okay. What is the difference between? What's difference between? Yeah. What is the difference between? I have a brief. The problem is I forgot what is the brief. What's the difference between? There it is. Okay. What's the difference between car and kader? Okay. So in order to understand that, you need to understand emacs list. I mean how list is in Lisp language. Okay, so let me write it. A list in Lisp is actually a nested con cells. What is a con cell? A cons cell. Okay, so cons, not con. So a cons cell is a Lisp, is a Lisp, let's say Lisp, okay, code like this. Cons item 1, item 2. Okay, so this is a cons cell. You can do it in emacs Lisp too. So for example, cons let's say 3 4. Okay, cons 3 4, and actually I can evaluate it. Let me show you the messages buffer so you can see the messages buffer. Okay, so I go here. Now watch, I'm gonna evaluate this, and in the message buffer you can see 3.4. That's a shorthand notation. So what is a cons cell? Just in other languages you have array. Think of it as a array, a data structure like array of 2 items. Okay, so it's a couple. So for example, in Python you have tuples. You can have a tuple of 2 items or tuple of 3 items, and so on. So a cons cell is basically just a tuple, a array of 2 items, and no more and no less. Okay, it's a built-in data structure in emacs Lisp, in scheme Lisp, and in common Lisp. In fact, it's kind of the core of Lisp idea. Okay, so cons cell is a built-in data structure of 2 items. Okay, let me write it down. It is a built-in data structure of 2 items, no more and no less. Can be thought of as Python tuple. Okay. So in emacs Lisp, every list, okay, is actually made of cons cells. Okay, let me explain. Is actually made of cons cells. For example, for example, let's say you have list 1, 2, 3, but it is actually but 2, but internally it is actually like this. Okay, so are you seeing this? Yeah, car and car. So yeah, so internally it actually like this. Okay, let me show you. Const let me just do this. Okay, let me type it quickly. So const 1, const 2, okay, so you can see we have a list of 3 elements, 1, 2, 3, but actually in emacs lisp and common lisp and scheme lisp or racket lisp, actually it is stored like a nested const cells. So it actually looks like this. So I can, we can actually test it. Okay, so for example, let's say equal list. Okay, so list 1, 2, 3 versus const cell. Okay, so you see that. Let's try to evaluate it and see what emacs says. Okay, so you can see here's a message buffer. You'll print in over there. Okay, so let's see. Evaluate it. You see, it says true. You see, so that is how. That's what const cells are, and this is a very important thing you need to understand when you code emacs lisp. Not for beginners, because for beginners you don't, this is actually not important, because you can just, a list is just a list. You can get the first element and second element and so on. But however, as you started to code more and more lisp, this is one of the fundamental, this is a very essential fundamental thing you need to understand. A list data structure in lisp languages actually do not have, it's not just by itself. It's actually made of, const cells. Now, you might wonder, why is that? In short, it's just historical. Okay, that's just the way it is, because in order to implement it back in 40 years ago, you have to use a linked list data structure, because for memory efficiencies and so on. So anyway, so that is why, in Lisp you don't actually have a, list is not the fundamental data structure. Every list is made of const cells, and remember the last const cell, const cell is fixed 2 items. Remember in the deepest const cell, the second element must be a nil. Otherwise, it's not really a proper list, so-called proper list. Okay, so if you go to my emacs lisp tutorial, there is an explanation. You study emacs lisp basic, then you go down, you scroll down, you started, as you have more experience, you started to learn list data type. Then you'll see explanations. Okay, list and vectors. Yeah, yeah. So that's what const cell is. Now, once you understand const cell, then you want to understand car and car. Okay, car and car, because car and car basically just means return the first element in a const cell. Okay, return the first element in a const cell. Car basically means return the second element in a const cell. So that's what they are. Okay, I think maybe that's it for today. I'm gonna random chat for a few minutes, 5 minutes, and we're gonna shut down. I miss most stream because of the time zone differences. Yeah, so I probably need to start to do some, you know, live talk show in different time zone. What is the difference, okay, between car and kader? So that's a full explanation. And car returns the first component of a pair. Kader returns the second component. Exactly, Alex. So Alex says, do you think this list implementation using concells is good, bad language design? It is a terrible, terrible language design. It's extremely lousy. Okay, it is. In fact, it's one of my complaint about Lisp for about 20 years now. Okay, for example, I can show you my articles. Okay, so you go to my programming blog, you go down to this section, programming Lisp. Let me show you this image. Okay, this image is funny. Programming my Lisp, reinventing wheels by using macros. Lispers are phonetic. Lisp phonetics are always thinking about macros because they think this macros is the best thing since sliced bread. I talked about this in tons of my videos. You should go watch it because, for example, you see here, I have two videos that's full talk about Lisp, about the nature of Lisp, about their history and so on. Okay, because that's one of my, you know, I'm a Lisp. You could say I'm a Lisp expert for the. I've been coding Lisp in the past 20 years, not just emacs. In fact, 30 years. Emacs Lisp starting from 2005. So I have 15 years of coding Emacs Lisp. But I also code Mathematica, which is kind of a variant of Lisp. I did also did 4 videos about Mathematica. You should watch those ones I show on my website because they are what I consider my better live streams, where I talk about lots of things in a condensed fashion. Each one is about an hour. So if you are into the history of Lisp, or if you are into Mathematica, which is you can say it's a Lisp, but very kind of very different, however shares all the characteristics of Lisp, you can watch them. So anyway, back to Lisp. So this article, this section, there's 2 videos about Lisp syntax and so on. Then you can see there's an article which is dramatically titled "Fundamental Problems of Lisp." This kind of title is so-called clickbait today. Okay, fundamental problems of Lisp. So in this article, I give you 2 major problems, and one of them is the cons. Okay, which we just explained. Let's see where 2 sections. The cons. Okay, so you scroll down, you can see the Lisp cons. So here is a screenshot of Emacs Lisp documentation about what are concells. Emacs Lisp. So here is Emacs Lisp documentation. You can see they have a diagram talking about how car and kader are nested so that they forms a list. Okay. So anyway, if you are interested, go read my article, Fundamental Problems of Lisp. You search it, you'll find it. So why is it so? Because Lisp was invented 40 years ago, 1960s, by John McCarthy, right? So 40 years ago, the hardware, the context of computation is very different from today. So basically, back then you basically have to have cons in order to make it fast. It's a implementation. What I would say implementation is a computer engineering byproduct. Okay. But today, for example, in Python, in Ruby, in every language, in Python, Ruby, Golang, I'm trying to only list the ones I really know. Okay. Like I can solidly tell you what's there or what's not. In Python, in Golang, in Ruby, in Mathematica, in PHP, Ruby, PHP, in Java, you don't have this like what the fuck concept. What the I mean, why do you need to base your list on a fixed two element thing? Why do you need that? You don't see that anymore because you don't need it, because the concepts was there because it was 40 years ago. In order to do it, to make it fast and so on, you have to have that. But you don't need that since 1990s. But however, it's just history. That's just like Unix commands. Why is it this way or that way? You have lots of baggages in programming languages. So concept is kind of a fundamental. It's kind of the fundamental core of Lisp programming languages, with one exception. Closure removed that, eliminated the concept. So in closure, which is in closure Lisp, they don't have the concepts anymore. They kicked that out. They don't. We are not going to have this crap. That is why, for some of the common Lisp phonetics, they don't consider closure to be a Lisp because it bothered them. Because the common, the traditional Lisp phonetics, they are used to the concept of concepts. Lists are made up of concepts, but closure just kicked it out. So that is some of the laws or history about Lisp. Okay, that's it for today. Okay, thank you guys. So if you like my emacs Lisp stuff, you go buy my emacs Lisp tutorials. Okay, thank you. And Patreon or PayPal, donate me. Thank you. So I'm gonna shut down the stream in 1 minute. And what I'm going to do now is to copy what we did today to my talk show page. So this is like what I have to do in post talk show. So you can watch my work here. So let's not. So that's today's talk show page, and paste it here. Okay, so let's make this let's make it a paragraph. Okay, wait. So you are looking at how I work on my website. Okay, show in browser. Now you can see magnify. So we have just written what is the difference between car and coder and so on. And okay, so I'm gonna. What's up, Bart? Another great stream is about to end. Thank you very much. Thank you, Bart, for coming by, for being my loyal fan. Okay, let's Q question and answers. Okay, Q. Wait, I need to show the pink window. So actually, okay, so that, and let's go to my Emacs blog. Let's see. Let's go to the .el. So this is a bunch of cons. So this part, copy it, cut it. We want to paste it here. So to illustrate, you can see, then make it a emacs Lisp tree, and colorify it and show in browser. So you can go to the bottom, you can see it. This is the explanation about concepts and car and coder. And let's just make that okay. Actually, okay, make that, and let me just add. Oh, I forgot to show the pink window. Copy, cut, 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 paste, show in browser. So now we have kind of a nice section about what's the difference between car and car. What is the concept? I showed the explanation. And now we need to, oh yeah, we need to grab the Lisp code here, which is the code we did today. Where do I want it? So copy the whole thing, go back to this page. So actually we did code the first part, but the second part would be easy. So let's put the code here. Emacs Lisp, paste it here, show in browser. You can see here's the code. Then prettify. Wait, I did something wrong. I did something wrong because, oh yeah, it's good. Okay, so here's the code we did today. So we wanted to write an emacs command to copy current text block, but change all local links to full path. We did that. But but actually there's more to do, because we have assumed that every link is a local link. So for me, I need to, after I go off stream, I need to modify so this function becomes useful to myself, because you need to check if a link is actually starting with HTTP. If that's the case, that's not the local link. Then your code will, Emacs will say error, something went wrong, because when you try to convert it to full path, it will fail, because the path start with HTTP. It will say file cannot be found. So you need to check if it's local link or not. Then you start to things I have to do. So the second problem, write a emacs command to change all local links. That's full path to relative link, which is it's just like what we did today. It's easy to do. Okay, that's it. I hope you guys find it useful. Bye. Copy. Oh yeah, I need to copy the I kind of log. So today's people's chat. Create a new file, cut that, paste it here, save, close, and make a link, make a paragraph, show in browser, magnify, and you go down. At the bottom you can see today's talk show messages. Some people get nervous about this, but guys, all the chat is public, okay? Sometimes occasionally I get people to tell me, can you please delete my chat, because if you really care about that, don't use the real name or something. I cannot yeah. Okay, bye. Go to OBS. My Windows machine now, it's fantastic. Everything works fine. See, GPU usage good, memory usage half of it, 6 out of 16, so not even half of it. GPU good, end stream